Okay, so you know how sometimes you get that perfect mix, like real-world, high-stakes political drama, but with that kind of Hollywood, well, Korean cinema star power.
Yeah, it's rare to see it line up so neatly before release.
Exactly. But it looks like it's happening. Today, we're getting into what we actually know about the upcoming Korean historical thriller, Assassins.
Right. We've got a stack of material here, production announcements, specific casting news. Pretty solid stuff confirmed as of October 16th, 2025.
So our mission today
Is basically to unpack why this thing is generating so much buzz already. It's not just listing names. It's about that blend,
Yeah.
the historical reality they're aiming for and the sheer talent involved.
Yeah, because the sources we're looking at keep calling it, like, shaping up to be one of the most anticipated Korean thrillers.
And that's not just hype language usually. That signals something.
High stakes, big expectations. And it seems like the foundation for all that is the history itself.
Okay, let's nail this down right away for you. Genre-wise, it's a historical thriller. But the key phrase popping up everywhere is cinematic realism.
Cinematic realism.
Yeah.
What does that signal to you?
Well, it suggests they're consciously trying not to do, like overly slick action or really heightened melodrama. Something grittier,
Yeah.
more authentic maybe.
And the authenticity comes from that specific historical hook, right?
Right.
The plot centers on a real-life 1974 assassination attempt.
Exactly. That date, 1974, it's not vague. It's a known, specific flashpoint in Korean history that tells you straight away, this isn't just some made-up spy story.
He gives it weight.
Serious weight. I mean,
Yeah.
you choose 1974, you're dealing with an event that had real traumatic consequences. The sources imply the film isn't shying away from that. It's about tackling recent political history.
Which is always tricky.
Super tricky. And when they talk about realism in this context, it feels like it's not just about getting the cars right,
Yeah.
It's about the feel of the era, the political climate.
So that cinematic realism,
Hmm.
maybe it's about capturing the atmosphere of Seoul in 74, the tension.
I think that's a huge part of it, yeah. Meticulous recreation. The sources mention the scale of the art direction needed. It's about making that past feel tangible, lived in, not like a museum piece.
Okay, so the history provides the gravity, but what elevates it to this highly anticipated level is, well, it's the names involved, the talent.
Absolutely. Our sources call it a stellar lineup, and that feels accurate.
Let's start at the top, the director.
Confirmed as Hae-jin.
Okay, Hae-jin. Now, he's known more for character dramas, right? Often quite emotional, sometimes tragic stuff.
Precisely. Christmas in August, One Fine Spring Day. Deeply felt character pieces, not exactly political thrillers.
So him directing this, what does that suggest? Does it mean less focus on the action, maybe?
I think it points towards focusing on the why. The internal lives of the characters caught up in this event, the psychological impact, the moral questions. With Hae-jin, you expect that kind of nuance, that emotional depth, even within a thriller framework. It suggests they're serious about the drama, not just the plot mechanics.
Right. And then the cast. The main confirmed actors are huge.
Yeah, absolute heavyweights, Hae-jin and Park Hae-il.
Okay, let's break that down. Park Hae-il, he often plays those intense, morally complex characters, doesn't he? The kind who operate in those gray areas.
He's brilliant at that quiet intensity, yeah. Perfect for high-tension political stuff.
And Hae-jin brings something else, more grounded, like the relatable counterpoint.
Exactly. He's often that sort of cynical, seen-it-all guy who keeps things rooted in reality. That contrast between them, Park's quiet intensity, use grounded presence that's gold for this kind of story. It provides the dramatic anchor.
So the casting reinforces the director's approach. Depth, texture.
It looks like it. And just to be clear for you listening, as of that mid-October date, the sources confirm filming is underway. This is happening now.
Okay, so that brings us to the person generating maybe the most buzz according to our sources, Lee Min-ho.
Right. His casting is obviously massive news globally.
But it's the role itself that's really interesting, especially when you connect it back to that cinematic realism idea.
Yeah, this is where it gets fascinating analytically. You've got this huge star, usually known for, action leads or big romantic roles, taking on a character who seems defined more by watching than doing. Sources are really specific. He plays a passionate rookie reporter.
Or a rookie reporter, not a spy, not a politician, not an assassin.
Nope. And he works in the social affairs department. That detail matters.
How so? What does placing him there do for the story?
It pulls the perspective away from the corridors of power, doesn't it? It puts the focus more on, well, how ordinary people experience these huge historical moments. He's explicitly the one who witnesses the shocking incident, the 1974 attempt.
So he's our eyes and ears on the ground, the audience's way into the event.
Pretty much. He's not driving the plot in the sense of causing the event. He's reacting to it. He's the conduit for the shock, the confusion, the historical impact hitting street level.
That feels like a smart way to pursue that realism goal. It becomes less about the conspiracy mechanics and more about the human fallout.
Exactly. Charred in the trauma, like you said.
But okay, let's undress the elephant in the room. Lee Min-ho is a massive global star. Doesn't casting him sort of strain that realism idea? A rookie reporter who looks like Lee Min-ho.
Yeah, it's a valid point. And the sources seem aware of that potential tension. They really emphasize the performance aspect.
What do they say?
They state pretty clearly that this role is expected to showcase even deeper and more delicate acting than before.
Deeper and more delicate.
That phrase is key. It's like a signal. It acknowledges that he can't just rely on his star charisma here. The role demands something quieter, more internal, more nuanced for the film's realism to work.
Which makes sense for the character, right? A rookie witnessing something like that. The role is about absorbing shock, processing trauma, maybe trying to find the words. It's internal.
It has to be. It's about conveying the weight of history landing on someone unprepared, not some action hero who instantly knows what to do. He becomes the film's sort of emotional core, maybe.
The audience's anchor point.
Yeah. We likely experience the event through his shock, his passion. The sources suggest his performance will be judged on that subtlety, that depth, which again points away from standard action tropes.
So the big takeaway here is that they're using all the stars, including Lee Min-ho, very strategically. Not just for their fame, but for what they can bring dramatically.
It seems that way. It's like Lee Min-ho accepting this specific role defined by observation, not action, is a statement in itself about the kind of film they're making. Nice. Prestige, depth.
So you've got the experienced gravitas from Hae-jin and Park Hae-il.
Right, representing maybe the weight of the political situation itself.
And then Lee Min-ho as the passionate, maybe more naive witness reacting to it all.
Yeah, it's a really interesting ensemble dynamic they're building, exploring the event from multiple angles, but always circling back to that attempt at realism.
Okay, so let's boil this down. For you listening, tracking this film, what are the absolute key takeaways from our sources on Assassins? First, the historical core.
Yeah, that specific, real-life 1974 assassination attempt. That's the bedrock, providing the political weight.
Second, the team behind it.
A really high-caliber team. Director Hae-jin suggesting a focus on character depth, plus that strong pairing of Hae-jin and Park Hae-il. Quality and complexity seem to be the goal.
And third, the Lee Min-ho factor.
Specifically, that significant shift into this demanding witness role, the passionate rookie reporter. It requires nuance, restraint, and really underscores that commitment to cinematic realism.
Right, so it's that combination, the real history, the push for realism, the specific casting choices for dramatic depth that explains why the sources are calling this one of the most anticipated thrillers.
Absolutely. It feels very calculated, bringing together that artistic ambition with undeniable star power.
And that wraps up our deep dive into what we know about Assassins so far. We've sifted through the details, looked at the talent, the history.
It's definitely one to keep an eye on. And maybe here's something to think about as you follow its development. Something sparked by the sources.
Go on.
What kind of story emerges? What kind of historical understanding do you get when the central perspective isn't the powerful figures involved in the event, but the rookie reporter on the sidelines? The one tasked simply with watching and recording that history as it explodes.
The power of witness.
Yeah. The sources suggest the real drama here might be in how witnessing shapes the narrative, how observing history becomes its own kind of action. Something to consider.